I'll just give a small anecdotal story. Doreen and I were at a World Economic Forum session in 2014, and the agenda of how do you drive sustainability over business benefits came up, and we were looking at a beer company in Costa Rica. And it's fascinating that this company went from kind of your story, Louis, negative EBITDA to 3x positive growth because they could create a movement to move away from tin cans and plastic glasses to glass bottles. And it wasn't anything else but the initiative from the younger generation in the country who took on to their brand three times or four times more. And that had a lasting impact on me, that session, Doreen. So we crafted our own purpose in this company back in 2014. And the purpose was to create a happier, healthier life for busy professionals in the field. And that's got nothing to do with technology, by the way, right? So that's something that we are very passionate about. And we see that, growing into the sustainability and the safety agenda today. And we've heard crisis, we've heard scale, we've heard dramatic change, we've heard need for innovation. I just think the race is on, and it's a race we have to win. But it's not a race that any individual can win. And I think, to Louise's point, if you think of ecosystems, if you think of extreme collaboration, right? If you think of people, how can you enable those people to get winners in their own rights? And you think of intelligence. So, people, intelligence, and extreme collaboration. There is a fair chance we're going to win this race, right? These days, I'm practicing my 4K and 5K runs. Some of the people in the attendees know that. So I would like to say this is not a marathon. It's a marathon with short sprints, right? So small changes that we have to do every day, every quarter to get to the final game where we're looking at about $15 trillion worth of investment in network infrastructure, right? This is from now until 2040. Bulk of that is green energy. A lot of that is 5G and communications infrastructure. A whole lot of it is modernization of water, gas, the kind of essential services infrastructure. And all of us need to do our bit. The tools from the past are not going to be helpful to win this race in the race to net zero, race to sustainability. So I'm just going to share a very short story on how a small idea of creating from the purpose to the design to the implementation helped deliver millions of miles of networks last year through COVID. So as most of you know, we provide short videos as a technology for field workers to report installations, risks, repairs, instead of filling in long forms, paper forms, which require a one-on-one interaction when a piece of work is done. So an expert comes to the field, they will look at the paper, they'll look at the site, and they will say, approved, work is done, construction can move forward. In 2019, we started working with this network infrastructure carrier, and we were working with people who build stuff from their hands, put cabinets, install cables, and they were like, we were giving them this mobile phone to play with it. You don't have to fill in this 150-point checklist. Just take short videos and show what you've done. Some amazing things came out of that experiment, right? In 2020, of course, COVID happened. So what was supposed to be a productivity driver in 2019, as Lori mentioned, is now a safety driver. You can't send experts to the field to inspect the works that's been completed. So of course, the short videos started to flow from this worker who has just installed a site ready for inspection. And it goes to the people in Bristol. And there are a team of 10 experts reviewing this. Typically, they would have been out in the field visiting 2 or 3 sites every day, right? They would cover about 10% of these jobs. But now they have visual evidence and very good view of what was done. And interestingly, not only did we save close to 1 million carbon miles, right? 10 experts, 500 installers in the field. That's about 1 million carbon miles of to and fro visits just for inspection and any unnecessary and failed visits. And at the UK HMRC rate of 42 pence or 45 pence, a lots count on 1 carbon mile that's allowed, to be claimed inexpensive. That's also a 450,000 pounds worth of cost savings that comes from this little technology that we're talking about. The behavioral element was fantastic. When people are ticking off forms and saying, yes, this looks good, yes, this was done, versus when they started to show their work, there was a sense of pride in the engineering workforce for the good work that they have done. And that has a nice economic benefit. What that means is you are not going to wait for somebody to come and snag your work. You will proactively show the snags so that you can be paid faster and you can be paid on time. And the outcomes were the end customers who were to approve the installations, there was a 71% saving in the time it takes to commission a small installation in a large network infrastructure project. Now that's huge, right? And you're just talking about one simple idea that we started. And the number of snags and reworks, which is, I think, the largest inefficiency in any construction program, went down 62% because we could get the people to feel proud about what the work they're doing. So it goes back to Pauline's point of if you're going to change in an environment of resource constraint, by enabling the resources, you can drive productivity. And 1 plus 1 becomes 11 because these 10 experts are now looking at tens of thousands of jobs sitting in their homes, hopefully offices soon. And they didn't have to lose their jobs, no furloughs, right? And actually, some of them were about to retire. And we've seen during COVID that, we brought back people who had retired, doctors, engineers to come and work. So you see the impact something like this starts to have on the society, right? You're more inclusive. You can bring people in to work from anywhere in the world, especially experts and who are 10x more productive than new workers. So, how do you kind of mobilize that expertise? There's another very interesting thing that happens because when you have 500 people and 10 experts recording 2 to 3 videos every day, that's about millions of videos. So you start to create a YouTube of knowledge base, right? And that's where some of our AI capability comes in because we can track and catalog that information. The impact on the society is you can now use that knowledge base to train newcomers. You can use the knowledge base to help your colleagues to look at information on how things can be done. So you start to create another economic impact from digital upskilling, which is absolutely important because if you have to deliver to these net zero targets and yes, some bold commitments all over the world, right? You still have to deliver it. And if you have less number of people to deliver this double the amount of work, there is no way you can deliver this without either improving productivity or improving skill sets. And finally, we also ensured or saw that it makes a safer society to work because there's so much situational awareness that AI can bring. So that was my little story that yes, we don't have to think of the large things only. We can make small experiments, we can make small projects, bring them to life and allow it to scale because the change and the transformation vectors are right behind us, right? As we heard, we have no option but to move forward. Thank you, Nand.